Welcome to Magic Tale World, where every story comes alive with wonder. Let's open the book and begin our adventure together.
Gather round, little adventurers, and let me tell you a story of the sea, of treasure, and of a sailor braver than any other. Have you ever wondered what lies beyond the horizon, past the sparkling waves? Well, today we're setting sail with the legendary Sinbad the sailor on his very first voyage. Once upon a time, in the grand city of Baghdad, lived a young man named Sinbad. He wasn't a porter carrying heavy loads, but a wealthy merchant with a spirit thirsting for adventure. He had everything he could wish for, but the call of the open sea was too strong to ignore. So he gathered his finest goods, bought a sturdy ship, and assembled a brave crew. With a wave to his friends and family, Sinbad set sail, his heart pounding with excitement for the unknown. For many days and nights, their ship danced upon the waves. The sun warmed their faces, and friendly dolphins leaped alongside them. They visited distant lands, trading silks and spices, and saw sights that would make your eyes wide with wonder. One sunny afternoon, they spotted something peculiar in the distance. It wasn't an island they recognized from any map. It looked like a small, green paradise floating in the middle of the vast blue ocean. "Land ahoy!" cried the lookout. The crew cheered, excited to stretch their legs on solid ground. Sinbad, ever the curious captain, steered the ship closer. The island was covered in lush green grass and shady trees. It seemed like the perfect spot to rest and refill their water barrels. They dropped anchor, and the sailors eagerly rowed ashore. Some started a fire to cook a meal, others washed their clothes in the fresh springs, and a few simply lay down to enjoy the peaceful scenery. Sinbad explored the beautiful island, marveling at its tranquility. But as the fire grew hotter, a strange thing happened. The ground beneath their feet began to tremble. It wasn't an earthquake. The entire island started to shake and move. The sailors screamed in terror as the island rose higher and higher out of the water. Giant streams of water cascaded from its sides. It wasn't an island at all. They had landed on the back of a colossal ancient sea creature, a giant whale that had been sleeping for so long it had plants growing on its back. The fire had woken the slumbering giant, and it was now diving back into the deep, dark sea to cool itself. Panic erupted. The sailors scrambled back towards the ship, but the great beast plunged beneath the waves before everyone could escape. The ship, caught in the massive waves, was tossed about and quickly sailed away, leaving poor Sinbad struggling in the churning water. He was all alone in the middle of the enormous ocean. He swam with all his might, his heart filled with fear, but also with a stubborn refusal to give up. Just as his strength was about to fail him, his hand hit something solid. It was a large wooden tub, a wash-tub that had fallen from the ship during the chaos. With his last ounce of energy, he clunked, towed using it as a makeshift raft. 4 days and nights, Sinbad drifted on the open sea, tossed by the waves, baked by the sun. He was hungry, thirsty, and exhausted, but he never lost hope. He prayed for rescue, his eyes scanning the horizon. Finally, the currents pushed him towards a real island this time, one with a sandy beach and tall, waving palm trees. He crawled onto the shore, grateful to be on solid land again. After quenching his thirst with water from a stream and eating some wild fruits, he set out to explore this new, mysterious place. The island was strange and silent. As he walked deeper into a valley, he saw something that made him stop in his tracks. The ground was littered with glittering diamonds and precious jewels, sparkling like a carpet of stars. He had stumbled upon the legendary Valley of Diamonds. But this valley held a terrifying secret. It was also the home of giant, fearsome birds called rocks, so enormous they were said to feed their young on elephants, and the valley floor was crawling with massive, slithering snakes that guarded the treasure. Sinbad knew he couldn't just walk in and take the diamonds. He needed a clever plan. He watched as other merchants, who knew of this place, threw large chunks of meat down into the valley from the cliffs above. The diamonds would stick to the fresh meat. Then the giant rocks would swoop down, grab the meat in their powerful talons, and fly it up to their nests to feed their chicks. The merchants would then scare the birds away and collect the diamonds that fell from the meat. Sinbad saw his chance. He found a large piece of meat, strapped it to his back, and laid down, waiting. Just as he hoped, a giant arrow-sea swooped down, mistaking him for part of the meal, and grabbed him. He held on for dear life as the colossal bird carried him up into the sky and dropped him right into its massive nest high on the mountain peak. He quickly untied himself before the bird returned. He was safe from the snakes, and the nest was filled with diamonds. He filled his pockets and a sack he had made from his turban with as many jewels as he could carry. Now he just had to get down. He waited until another arrow-sea flew to its nest and bravely tied himself to its leg. When the bird flew back down to the valley for more food, Sinbad untied himself and ran for his life, escaping the dangerous valley with a fortune in diamonds. He eventually found his way back to the coast, where, by a stroke of amazing luck, a passing ship spotted him. And who was the captain of that ship? None other than the very same captain whose ship had abandoned him. The captain couldn't believe his eyes, thinking Sinbad had been lost to the sea. Overjoyed, they celebrated his miraculous survival. Sinbad shared his incredible story of the Wailer Land, the Valley of Diamonds, and the giant rocks. He returned to Baghdad, not just a wealthy merchant, but a legendary adventurer. He shared his fortune with the poor and told his tales to all who would listen. But the sea still called to him, and this was only the first of his 7 fantastic voyages. What do you think happened on his next adventure? Did he face even bigger monsters, or find even greater treasures? If you loved this story, give us a big thumbs up, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe for more amazing tales. Thanks for watching.
Thank you for watching Magic Tale World. If you enjoyed the story, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more magical adventures tomorrow. See you next time!